good podcast.
This is good. This is good.
Hey,
good
welcome back to Mjbizcon. We're here at day 2, Mjbizcon 2022, the largest gathering of cannabis industry experts in the world, and amazing brands. On my hearts with the brands, I've got one of them, one of the big ones, hopefully the future big ones of the American global cannabis world, Viscous, with me today. We got Chris Lewis, the CEO. Chris,
how you doing, everybody?
Thank you for joining us. And Chris is also the older brother of the president.
How you doing?
Elliot Lewis. Now that's interesting. How? Now we got to get into how because president is like higher than CEO, right?
No. Well, we're co-partners. It's literally, when you're forming a corporation, it's like it's just a little bit easier to give everybody separate titles. But we run the business equally together. I mean, we have different roles, but we're overlapping, and it's not like I got the last say or Elliot's got the last say.
And you use the word corporation lightly because everybody has to have an LLC, but this is clearly a mom and pop family operation, which is one of the things that we love.
It's true. That's true.
You guys are family working together, building a big brand.
We're brothers. We're actually technically we have the same dad. We're half brothers. So Elliot is quite a bit. He's 21 years younger than me.
Yeah.
But I guess when we initially started, I guess I took the lead just from having the corporate experience. But now, I mean, Elliot is it's like our business. He got an MBA for free.
So we're going to do a real quick overview of how you guys got into the cannabis industry, your experience, even if it goes back to dealing. We like to talk about that, previous dealing, previous growing, anything illegal. We don't give a damn here. I don't know. One day I'm going to be thrown in jail for all this stuff.
Probably not now, right?
No, statute of limitations expired on all my interstate illegal.
Well, we're going to say that what's the statute of limitations?
I really have no idea.
Is it 7 years? Or is it 5 years?
Well, it depends on the jurisdiction, depends on the misdemeanor, depends on the felony, so it all varies.
Well, for marijuana felonies, what's the...
Yeah.
Because there were felonies.
I don't know, but if they want to charge me for what I was shipping from Tucson to Boston in the 90s, and they charge me away, and then I'll be one of those guys that get pardoned.
Hey, it's like politicians, right? We're not under oath, so we can say whatever the hell we want.
I might be eligible for a social equity license as well, too.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and if I get charged, it'll make this podcast a lot better. But let's talk about you guys for a second. So, how did you start in cannabis? Who wants to go first?
You want to start?
Or did older brother get younger brother in? You buy him his first joint? I don't know.
No, actually, nothing like that. It might have been the opposite in that regard.
You guys were over here using your own stuff.
Well, that is kind of what happened, actually, right? Like, it started out for me. I'll just start off real quick. It started out for me. I was messing around. We were buying a house. My wife and I'm married. I got 3 kids.
Yeah.
And this is in New York, and I was in the futures energy trading business. And, I like to get high, and my friends like to smoke weed too, and it was very much a recreational, fun thing. And I was doing stuff, and then I looked into buying stuff out west to get better prices or whatever. And then at a family function, I told Elliot what I was doing. And then Elliot...
You kind of smoothed over that. I looked at buying things out west to get better prices. That's straight up like interstate commerce. Like, I'm just kidding.
But was it though? Maybe
interstate drug transactions. I know.
Maybe we were trafficking a lot of weed. I don't know.
It's okay. After 10 years in this industry, I'm really comfortable talking about the nonsense. But let's go. So you were looking at this. You had your house. You're building a house. You're looking at the West Coast.
Yeah, and then at a family function, Elliot was already living in Venice, California.
Yeah,
Venice.
Yeah, and we were just sort of shooting the shit. And
I think it was actually my 21st birthday party.
Was it your 21st birthday party?
21st birthday party in Venice. What year was that?
Oh my God, it was 2000
Well, how old were you in 21?
2013.
Okay, I'm just getting like a chronological thing. 2013.
Yeah, 2013.
Yeah. Venice.
Elliot moved. He's a Venice local now.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, Venice.
Yeah.
People are lonely.
But yeah, I was like, I live in Los Angeles, right? I don't know why you're messing around with strangers that through.
The Doors. You're too young. Venice is the Doors.
Oh, no. I meant
I see. Him messing around strangers.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about strangers.
I do know the doors. Very familiar.
All right. Yeah, Venice. So why are you buying your shit off some randoms so you can buy it off me?
Right. So then, but we didn't know that actually my oldest younger brother, Elliot's bit older brother, Elliot.
I asked him to line up like an ounce of weed.
Yeah, he was coming into town.
And he was like, I'm not going to be there for the first 3 days, but you know who you should call where I get my weed from is our brother.
Okay. So that was a bit shocking for the both of us.
Yeah, I can see you guys' family tree, weed dealer,
you're not far off, honestly.
Big family tree of activity. So you guys you got a big history, you got a lot of knowledge of plant, you got knowledge from consumer,
for sure,
patient perspective, and then go ahead. Sorry.
Well. Yeah, so just to put a button in that story, so we just started, it literally started off as super small volume, and it really was like how everybody starts, just to sort of cover your own kind of needs for free. And then that escalated pretty quickly, honestly. Yeah. And then I would say in 2015 or so, it was like, is it a business? Is this our business now?
Yeah.
And the answer was yes. And then right in the beginning of COVID, we were doing stuff. We developed our Viscous Vape.
Right, so we're approaching the statute of limitations stuff here. So we're within 3 or 4 or 5 years.
Moved out to LA.
Yeah.
So you said how am I going to do this in the tax and regulate
market?
Well,
that's right. And we had to be in California.
Yeah.
So then literally a few years ago, right in the beginning of COVID, which is pushing 3 years now.
Okay.
It seems like it was very recent, but it's
3
not.
years ago March.
Yeah. My family and I all moved out to LA so that we could concentrate on getting into the regulated legal market.
Nice. And that was 2019, 20.
Which we did, which we are.
And that's Viscous. Is this your first?
Our first legit, our first real foray into dispensaries is in California. The Green Goddess is our, I would say, our home base. We don't have any sort of business with them. They're a customer, but that's the Venice dispensary. We're a Venice brand.
Nice.
Elliot and I started the brand. It was really Elliot's idea to make a Venice-centric brand.
Love it.
Yeah. And we did
anything Venice is cool.
It is. Well, it is. It is cool, and it's not. Venice isn't just cool like that. Venice truly is a cool place.
Yeah.
It truly is. It's got. For us, it is the vibe in LA.
Homeless people pee. That shit doesn't bother me. Venice is just cool.
It is cool, man. It's like an artist haven there, even though rents. It's kind of bananas.
Interesting people.
Very interesting people. Anyway, so someone's drinking vodka somewhere.
Yeah. Is that me? No. So Venice. So Viscous started. Viscous.
Yeah. So Viscous
concept behind Viscous.
Right. Well, okay. So initially it was the name was because the word viscous and the term viscosity means how much tension is in a particular liquid, how goopy it is, how watery it is.
Right.
How thin or thick it is. That's what, and there's a whole viscosity scale, there's science to it, but the word kind of means this oil. It means oil. It means liquid. It means, right? So we got the ocean and we got cannabis oil. And that's where the word viscous.
And you got Venice.
And we got Venice.
Viscous.
Right. And the logo was designed with sort of like a retro kind of surfing, skateboard, lowrider Venice vibe, at least what we thought of, what we think that is.
That's so cool.
Yeah, we think so. We dig it.
Is it Jane's Addiction from Venice, by the way? Is that, are they,
no, Suicidal Tendencies, the punk band, is from Venice. Yeah. And there's a ton of other punk bands from Venice. There's also, The Doors, as you mentioned before we got on the podcast, obviously is from Venice. The music scene there now is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of different.
Yeah.
There's a ton of, the boys at Dogtown, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, boys.
Skateboarding as we know it was invented in Venice.
Yeah, no, and this ties in. It was invented in Vegas. Skateboarding,
Venice.
Music.
In Venice.
Great brands of the cannabis industry. You guys have like a leg up.
We do.
I love it. I mean, if I was an investor, in Spain, they're going to be asking for California cannabis.
That's funny that
California vape pens. And they're going to say, well, what part of California?
Venice. We feel we have as much cachet as some of the other, interesting areas in California in general. But also,
that's why we bring up all the music things. By the way.
Yeah, totally.
Beach Boys.
Yeah. But Venice is a real inspiration for us, and it's also. I live with my family, not in Venice, but certainly on the west side of LA.
Yeah.
But Venice was more than just an inspiration. I mean, it's I'm a New Yorker originally, and if you're from a neighborhood in New York City, like that's what Venice feels like more than any other place in California to me personally. More personality with all the craziness there, and that's what we want our brand to represent.
Viscous. I could do PR for Viscous.
Come on, man, you're hired.
I really could do that. Yeah,
terrific.
I feel your brand. I haven't even tried it yet, but I can feel it just because of the story. Family operation, young man hanging out in Venice, does this old school OG legacy market.
Yeah.
Understands cannabis, gets in the this vape pen line, right?
Yeah.
But nothing else at this point?
We have, we're launching a brand of, we're launching a line of gummies that they're basically launched, but we haven't done like a big marketing push yet. We have a distillate line of cartridges, and we have a live resin line of cartridges. We're working on a rosin line also, and we're looking into other things as well, potentially a pre-roll and some other stuff.
This is fun, and I always tell people the big brands of the California state, California region market are going to be the dominant brands, the winners in the end. Those are the ones you invest in. Those are the ones you watch. Those are the ones you get to know.
Right now, if you're surviving in the most,
it's tough.
Well, it's the most competitive market in the country, right? It's the most developed commercial market in the country. I mean, there were other states that were a little, that were earlier and whatever, but in terms of just the magnitude of the market, no one can compete with California yet. I mean, we have to see what happens in the Northeast with New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and see how that develops. But as of right now, California is the only place to be.
Yeah.
And the competitiveness is a good thing because it means...
It really is. I'll give you some love on that. Yeah. Competition leads to innovation.
Yes.
It leads to individual excellence or brand excellence. It leads to the consumer saying, they have 50 choices, 100 choices, 5,000 choices.
Why are we better?
We're going to pick Viscous because it's the best.
Right.
And that, that helps develop it for the patients and the consumers. That's why I love the brands, because you guys are out there fighting it on the daily, trying to build your reputations and build a relationship with the customers and patients, adjusting, bobbing and weaving, changing the viscosity.
That's good. We love that.
As necessary.
Yeah. I mean, the consumer, I have to say, to the consumer's credit, has gotten very smart.
Yeah.
All over the country, in fact, in all different kinds of markets, consumers have gotten smart. They understand, what the basic way to process oils are. They understand what a cannabis vape is now.
Yeah.
Which is good. We honestly, from a competitive perspective, it sort of weeds out the people that are not keeping up with the level of quality that's necessary.
Yeah.
Especially in this market where there's still a bunch of yahoos out there.
I deal a lot with brands, brand migration, licensing, partnerships, and the reality of the market structures, intrastate markets that we have right now and how difficult it is. Those must have been some challenges for you. And I know you said you're migrating over to New York and New Jersey, undoubtedly recruited by somebody who said, we want a cool California brand. Is that, talk a little bit about that journey.
Yeah, sure. For us, it's very much a proactive thing. But in particular in New York and New Jersey, because we know the area very well, and we understand sort of the personality of the cannabis consumer in that area. Like We both were born on the East Coast.
I'm going to move my foot a little bit
here.
Yeah,
of course.
I got a knee problem. So go ahead.
We started actively looking for licensing deals. We're looking for people that have social equity that wanted to bring on a brand. Trying to vet out those people and try to figure out just the best fit for everybody. We've found that in New York. Frankly, New York they're having the same issues that California had in 2016 when California went recreational. The state is behind the operators. They're giving go-aheads and stopping and starting, but they're going to get it. They'll get it. So we're going to be there, and the way the current topography is there from a legal perspective, like we're in the market already there. But now what we want to do, and we're in the market in a legal way, just going through.
Right.
But we want to sort of consolidate that and have our own equity in manufacturing, extraction.
It is tough to decide how to expand your brand right now and who to partner with, licensing deals, IP protection, all this stuff. It's a complicated market to
Well, the market's
navigate.
Also grossly over-regulated, and the lack of interstate commerce and being able to, even in a tariffed way, if you want to get somewhat sophisticated about it, like if we had to pay a tariff to get our product into New York from California, and we didn't have to have multiple manufacturing sites, we would do that. Why not do that?
Yeah. No, I mean,
the capital cost of getting into another manufacturing facility, doing it yourself it's worth it to export.
Yeah.
Interstate exporting.
Yeah, and each of those, the companies have to make those decisions. They're complicated.
They are complicated.
But you know the numbers, so we got to get you guys in Arizona. That's where I'm from originally.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We just don't know the market. We sort of have eyes and feet and hands on the ground on the East Coast as well as here. But, of course, we're interested in Arizona. Why not?
Yeah, we'll continue to maintain a conversation. Regardless, whether it's now through a partnership or a licensing deal or 5-10 years from now, the consumers and patients of Arizona deserve and will be calling for Viscous as a company. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let's hope.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Just have faith. we'll get the word out. No, and you guys, you guys know what you're doing. You have a great concept. You're from the right. If I had extra dollars to invest in you, I would.
Thank you.
Although you guys probably aren't looking for investment capital, but that doesn't matter. We have another thing called Canterbury Tales. The Canterbury Tales.
Canterbury?
Yeah, and I want to get you guys on that.
Okay.
And we're going to dig deeper at that point. Less about you guys and more about the actual brand and the differentiators and the why the patients and the consumers should be choosing Viscous. But that'll be another podcast.
Okay.
But I think this is pretty good. We got a good start about who you guys are.
Well, thank you for your time.
We got a mom and pop brand being developed out of Venice Beach, California, Viscous. We've been here with Chris and Elliot Lewis. How many brothers are there?
There's one more brother and a sister, but we're in business together. The others are not.
I still want to see that family tree so I can figure out who's dealing all the weed.
Well, it's a long story.
We're going to come back. We're going to circle back. I have a good feeling about you guys, and I love the fact that you guys are out of one of my favorite places in the world.
It's a great spot, man.
And we didn't get into Spain because we got to cut it
down.
Well,
that's a whole other conversation. Europe and how to operate there, and it's weird. But
I used to own a club in Spain. In 2017, I bought one.
Shut up.
And everybody was looking for California weed. And if you had anything that could be called California weed, everybody's like looking to buy it. And so at that point, I was like, holy shit.
Wait a minute. Before we go, where was your club?
It's outside of Barcelona.
Oh, my God. Do you still have it or no?
No, I got screwed by my partner.
Shocker.
Yeah.
In the club business.
It was only $40,000. But
enough.
We split it. And what the fuck was it? I put it behind me. I am like,
right, you just blocked it out.
No, forgive and forget. I got to figure this out.
All right.
Jesus
But
Christ.
a club in Barcelona, we're selfishly, get it back so we can get over there and figure out how to do this shit.
Well, we'll talk about that afterwards.
All right.
Thank you for joining us at MITA Unshackled.
Live the ride, everybody. That's our slogan, live the ride.
Live the ride. All right, bye.